Alright guys, well today for you I have rice pudding, and rice pudding made in three different ways. We have your classic traditional oven baked school dinner rice pudding, a quick and creamy stovetop rice pudding, and a luxurious oven baked rice pudding. Now I've done all three of these to serve just 2 people, so if you need 4, double up the ingredients. Okay then, so all 3 recipes share 4 basic ingredients. Obviously the rice, whole milk, sugar, now I'm using caster sugar, and unsalted butter. And each recipe's got its own little quirk to go along with it. Now the rice is short grain pudding rice. Now it's a term that's probably only used in the UK. So if you're anywhere else, you may be able to get away with arborio rice or calrose rice. You want a short to medium grain, you cannot use long grain. It needs to be a really starchy, sticky type rice. And as always, I'll put the full recipes in the description. And don't forget, we're serving 2 people here. So for the school dinner rice, we need 50 grams of rice, 350 ml of milk, 15 grams of sugar, about 7 grams of butter, and half a teaspoon of freshly grated nutmeg. Right, the first thing to do is get your oven on ready. 160 Celsius, that's 140 fan. Always a low cooking temperature for rice pudding. And just measure all your ingredients. Now, I forgot to grease the dish with this one, but it didn't matter in the end. So about, like I said, about 7 grams of butter. $50 grams of rice, 12 grams of sugar, and about half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And then top it all up with 350 ml of whole milk. And in the oven for about 2 hours at, like I say, 160, 140 fan, and give it a stir about 3/4 an hour in. Well, here we go then, school dinner rice pudding out of the oven. It was actually 1 hour and 45 minutes, not 2 hours, so adjust your timings accordingly. I suppose if you're doing it for 4 people, it would be 2 hours. A little bit more yellow than I remember school dinners being. It used to be more of an insipid white, yes, but it's just as nice and thick. So on with the taste test. Yes, it was nice. Can't fault that. And for so few ingredients, it was, well, very nice actually. So nice I had to go back and try it again. Okay then, so next up is the quick and creamy stovetop rice in a pan on the stovetop. I say quick, 40 odd minutes, but you know, it's quicker than the oven. So for this one we have 60 grams of rice, 330 ml of milk, 30 grams of sugar, 15 grams of butter, and we're bringing in some cream. That is 60 ml, and I'm using double cream, half a teaspoon of vanilla extract or vanilla essence, and a smidgen of ground cinnamon. Now I've put a 1/16 of a teaspoon. It's the smallest number I could think of, like, you know. You just want it to be there. You don't want it to be overpowering. Okay then, so on with the cooking. Couldn't be much simpler really. It's a case of pour everything into the pan, medium-sized pan that has a lid. So in with the milk and the cream, of course these were in no particular order, you can do them any way you want. In with the rice and the sugar. Hey, notice how I'm tapping the sugar out just like you do with seeds in a packet. Quite accurate. in with the butter, and a sprinkle of cinnamon, and half a teaspoon of vanilla. Then it's just a case of bringing the pan to a gentle simmer. Something like this really, and then on with the lid. Stir it occasionally, do not let it burn, and eventually 30, 35, 40 minutes you will have something like this. Still bubbling away, but it's getting thicker and thicker. The idea is you want to leave quite a bit of liquid behind. That's probably a little bit too much at the moment, but we're getting there. Another 5 minutes will do that. And this is what we're after. It's a bit thick, it's a bit runny, it's a bit of both, and it's neither of one or the other. I know it doesn't make sense. There's probably actually a culinary term for it. To me, it's just right. That's what matters. And of course, the taste test. Oh yes. Yeah. A little bit of cinnamon coming through, which is very, very nice actually. Oh my word. That is lovely. And that's the stovetop one. Oh. And the third rice pudding is what I call the luxurious rice pudding. Oven baked again. Well, this time round we're doing the rice slightly differently. We're gonna volume measure it. So we're after 90 ml of rice. Turns out to be about 75 grams actually. 425 ml of milk, 20 grams of sugar, 12 grams of butter, 205 ml of evaporated milk, so that's half a can, and half a teaspoon of nutmeg. And this time round I remembered to grease the dish. So much the same as the oven baked school dinner rice. It's basically everything in the dish. I don't know why, but this can opener always reminds me of a bee doing a waggle dance. Well, I suppose you can see it there. Now the difference with this one is I cut the butter into little chunks and scattered them over the top of the pudding. And in the oven, 160 again, 140 fan. About 2 hours, about hour and 45, 2 hours, but give it a good stirring after 3/4 of an hour or so. And here it is, ready after an hour and 45 minutes. It looks the business, I tell you, and I'm going to let me do the rest of the talking, so see you soon, guys. Oh, look at that. Very nice, very, very, very nice. Well, I think that's my favourite. Yep. Well, that's it, guys. My 3 rice pudding recipes. Classic school dinner, quick stovetop one, and a luxurious one. Give them a try and let me know which one you like the best. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.